Imagine being given a mission so challenging that your first reaction would be to run in the opposite direction. That's exactly what happened to Jonas. But what made a prophet, someone who directly heard the voice of God, choose to flee? Jonah's story is not just about disobedience, but about fear, prejudice, and a crisis of faith. When God ordered him to go to Nineveh, a city known for its cruelty, Jonah felt the weight of responsibility. Nineveh was not just any city, it was the capital of the Assyrian Empire, a people that the Israelites feared and hated for their brutal conquests. Jonah knew that if the people repented, God would forgive them. And this sparked an internal conflict. He did not want his enemies to be spared. But would that be it? There was also a real fear of reprisals, as preaching repentance to a powerful city could cost you your life. And you? Have you ever felt torn between fulfilling a duty and protecting your own feelings? Share your reflections in the comments. Now, think about Jonah's escape. He did not simply avoid the mission, but took a boat in the opposite direction, towards Tarshish, a distant city, a symbol of refuge. This attitude reveals something common to human beings, the tendency to run away when we are called to something that requires sacrifice and courage. But does escape really bring us peace? In Jonah's case, the attempt to escape God's calling brought storms, both external and internal. In the rough sea, the boat faced a terrible gale. While the crew fought to survive, Jonah slept, perhaps trying to disconnect from the guilt and fear. But what happened next was a warning. Sometimes you have to face the storm to find true peace. How many times do we avoid confronting our challenges and, as a result, end up increasing the problems? Tell us in the comments if you've ever been in a situation where running away seemed like the only way out. The moment in which Jonah is thrown into the sea and swallowed by a large fish, often described as a whale, is one of the most emblematic in the narrative. But what does this symbolize? The belly of the fish can be seen as a place of seclusion, a space of silence and reflection. 3 days and 3 nights. Enough time for Jonas to review his journey and realize that running away did not free him from the call, but brought him even closer to his mission. Here, there is an important detail. God did not use the whale to punish Jonah, but to save him. She was an instrument of mercy. This leads us to reflect, how often do we see our trials as punishments, when, in fact, they can be opportunities for a fresh start? Jonah, inside that fish, prayed with repentance and humility. What a powerful lesson. When we feel stuck, we can use this moment to strengthen our faith. Have you ever had a moment when you needed to stop to reevaluate your life? After being vomited onto dry land, Jonah finally accepts his mission and goes to Nineveh. What happened next was surprising. The entire city regretted it. From the leaders to the common people, everyone demonstrated humility in the face of the warning of impending destruction. Here, we can see a fascinating contrast. Jonah, the prophet, was resistant to God's call, while the Ninevites, considered wicked, immediately responded to the divine call. This shows that God is no respecter of persons. His grace is offered to everyone, even those who seem to be on the wrong path. And you, have you ever been surprised to see someone completely change their life after receiving a second chance? It is a clear demonstration that we often underestimate the power of repentance and transformation. Despite accomplishing his mission, Jonas was still resentful. He isolated himself and became bitter when he saw that God did not destroy Nineveh. To Jonah, it seemed unfair that such a cruel people were spared. God then taught him a final lesson, using a plant that grew to shade Jonah and then died. This symbolized that Jonah cared more about his immediate comfort than about saving an entire city. This passage makes us reflect on divine compassion. God does not just see mistakes, but the possibilities for change. Often, we are like Jonah, we desire immediate justice, but we forget that everyone deserves mercy. Could it be that, in our lives, we are also quick to judge and slow to forgive? What do you think about this? Leave your opinion in the comments.